We,
We.
We
we are the
Are the
heterozygotes.
heterozygotes.
Wasil, 70, arrived in Zatari camp from Homs last October with his wife, 62, and 2 children. They share a tent and a caravan with 20 other family members, including 13 children aged between 1 and 15 years old. Wasil had a stroke 20 years ago and since suffers partial paralysis. Due to his disability, he met a lot of difficulties crossing the border and was injured during the displacement.
Refugees are not being cared for. They are not in good health. They need our help. We are trying to help. If not us, then who? Famine, children, injuries, elderly, barren, death. People are dying in the process of trying to save themselves. Refugees are coming across seas in hope of survival, but are failing to find any form of sanctuary. It is our prerogative to better the lives, and specifically the health, of suffering refugees.
I was a volunteer helping at a prosthetics workshop and clinic ran by Handicap International at Thailand's border, laid opposite the Karen National Union headquarters in Manipur. In 1995, during the siege of Manipur, my family fled from fighting and took refuge in MRML. In 1998, I became a Handicap International camp-based staff and have continued the work to date. I have been happy and proud of my role. Talking about my family's future, I would like to return to home. However, the current situation at home is not yet good. Peace cannot be guaranteed yet. If it is truly peaceful, we long to be home. One of Kwakai's daughters, Suzanne Kwai, 12, is a child with cerebral palsy. She has received physiotherapy and rehabilitation services from Handicap International since she was young. Today, she can move freely and independently.
We've tried refugee camps. They were demolished and vandalized. We've tried basic education programs. They failed. We've tried peace proposals and treaties to the Syrian government. They were denied. We've sent out volunteer parties, translators, mental health counselors, even military-like forces. It's not enough. Through this process, refugees have not only been torn from their families and belongings, deprived of medical access, and exposed to illness, but they've been stripped of their identity as well. Everyone should have the right to basic medical and health care. So why is this different for refugees?
I pretended to be dead and listened to the 2 soldiers. They said, "Let's check if he's still alive and finish him off." They opened the door and saw me lying on one side. They kicked me to turn me face up. I held my breath for 30 seconds, but I couldn't hold it any longer. They said, "He's still alive, finish him," and they shot twice. The bullets missed my head, which slumped to my left. They went through the shoulder instead. The distance between the bullets and my head was less than a centimeter. After receiving medical treatment in Jordan, I returned to continue working as a nurse in a makeshift underground clinic sponsored by the Red Crescent. I did not fight and did not treat any fighters, only civilians, mostly women and children. My own need was more sophisticated medical attention, made me decide to leave. I cannot properly move my right arm, and I need to remove the implants from the surgery in Jordan.
Every year, millions of dollars are donated to the refugee cause. Every year, thousands of refugees go untreated with disease and other ailments. Our solution calls for donation money to be used to train refugees to work in health centers. The Kenny Dollar grant would be used towards advertisements to collect donations. This money would go directly to refugee health centers.
I saw a woman with a baby in her arms coming to the pastor for help. I could tell something was wrong and the baby must be sick. I felt the baby's head. It was hot. This girl was 7 months old. The symptoms had started a few hours earlier. The baby was showing signs of high fever with dehydration and lethargy. I discovered that she was not eating today either. I told the mother to come with us to the Think Humanity clinic and we would help them. I uncovered the baby from its wrap. The baby's arm was sticking out under the mother's and she grasped my finger as babies often do. I held that tiny finger all the way to the clinic while saying a silent prayer that she would be all right. After arriving at the clinic, the blood test revealed early malaria. We treated her with liquid diclofenac to lower her fever and ease her pain. The mother was taught how to crush the Coartem oral malaria pills and give them to her baby. Since I brought the baby in, I gave her the injections of antimalarial and diclofenac. By the time we finished treatment and educated the mother about the meds, the baby was breastfeeding. I believe in my heart and have the knowledge clinically that this baby probably would have died of severe malaria if it was not for the treatment she got at the Think Humanity clinic.
The training of the refugees. The money that will be collected from the donations will be used to teach and train the refugees. They will be trained to be nurses, medical assistants, and hospital workers, so they will be able to enter the labor market and help their own. This is a very important step because they will be working and earning money, so they will be able to take care of the families, move from the refugees camps to the places with better conditions. Basically, they will be stable again. They will be free again.
Our third part to our solution idea involves having a sign-in reward incentive system from the government. Once refugees sign in and utilize these medical health centers and receive a checkup, they will receive a reward through the government. By having refugees providing information, personal, general health, and medical, at sign-in locations, as well as getting an updated checkup in highly concentrated refugee areas, we can identify what diseases are potentially in the area in order to be more prepared on how to treat these refugee patients. These checkups will be paid through donations from outside sources as described in Part 1.
Donations, volunteering, coming forth, and love. We have a 3-step process. We have a solution to the problem. Refugees are dying each day without proper medical care. We can help the situation through an effort to provide what everyone deserves to be provided. Provide resources, provide access to an education, provide safety, and provide a better future.
5 years ago, the biggest migration wave of the last century affected the European community. I remember the times when the refugees topics was always on the news, and people were worried about it. What about now? When was the last time you heard about the refugees? People just got used to it. No one thinks anymore about children that have to fight for food, women that cannot keep themselves warm, or elderly people that have no health assistance. Who wants to scroll the Facebook feed and see that people, Testmate or Insider, are much better? You know, we make our own choices. Our was to remember people about this problem that is getting worse. Our was to propose a solution that can actually make a difference. Our was to make a difference.
In our first world community, we do not see the ramifications of disease in the refugee camp, yet we can still be the solution. If your family members were dying, would you be part of the solution? The future of refugee health is bright with the help of the Kenny Grant. We expect to help tens of thousands of refugee families. As long as the flow of donations is continuous, the project will continue until the problem is overcome.
We are the people
who have seen the blood and the tears.
We are the people
Involved in the situation.